Hello everyone, it's Old Guardian here. In this experimentation video I'm presenting Elemental Mage. And well, I have good news and I have bad news about this deck. The good news is that this is actually pretty good against Warlock. It's reasonable against both Control Warlock and Cubelock. The bad news is that even though I've tried to tweak it to have early game, I tend to die to Bone Mares and Corridor Creepers a lot. I don't know how it's going to turn out once the nerfs come live, because once Corridor Creeper leaves the meta, Bone Mare leaves the meta, Patches leaves the meta, maybe there is just enough space to squeeze in with a deck like this. This is a mid-range deck that is able to just keep pressuring the slow control decks. And on the other hand, it does have some defensive tools, so it has some kind of a chance against aggro as well. It's an elemental deck, and one of the key features of elemental decks is that they need to have a lot of elementals. The elemental synergy condition is very difficult to activate if you played an elemental last turn, so that requires a lot of planning, and it requires a lot of surplus elementals so that you can play an elemental, then okay, plan changes, I don't play the synergy card this turn, then you have another elemental to play to prepare the synergy once again. And in order to do that, Firefly especially is crucial, because that gives you 2 elementals in one. Overall, this deck has 12 elementals in it. There's Firefly, Tar Creeper, Firebloom Phoenix, Steam Surger, Servant of Calamus, and Blaze Caller, each in 2 copies. There's also a single copy of Tolve Stone Shaper. It's a card that I've been trying to use to contest aggro decks a little bit, but I haven't been able to fit in 2 of these because it's difficult to activate, and it's not an elemental itself, so it doesn't continue that elemental activation chain. It's also the card that I'm least sure about, so it's one of the cards that could be cut if I could find something that would be a better fit. Overall, the deck plays in mid-range style. You have some pressure early on, especially with the mana worms, and you have some amount of burst because there's 2 copies of Frostbolt, 2 copies of Fireball, and the Primordial Glyphs can also give you some burst damage, so you can go for those burst finishes. There's a lot of resource generation, so the deck rolls on, generates boards, generates new boards, keeps up the pressure, and eventually wins the game. Or that's the idea anyway. The difficulty is that currently Corridor Creepers and Bone Mares provide such big swings that this deck is sometimes unable to answer those. A couple of card choices that maybe are not part of every mid-range deck. There's 2 copies of Polymorph in this. Polymorph is superior to Silence in the current meta. If you're facing stuff like Void Lords, well, polymorphing them means that they also don't come back from Gul'dan, which is very, very powerful. And then there is Frosty Jaina, which gives you another kind of win condition, because you can then start to move over the game to where you are making water elementals and constantly creating threats like that, and possibly even winning through fatigue, even though that is by no means the overall purpose of the deck. My AoE of choice for this deck is, on the other hand, there's Volcanic Potion for the early game, wiping out something like Aggro Paladin early boards, and then there's Blizzard for the late game, which I often try to use so that I try to freeze the opponent's board in order to hit face and prepare for a burst finisher. But yeah, even though I've iterated with this deck a fair bit, I haven't really found a satisfactory version yet. Of course, I'm trying to basically build a post-nerf deck in the pre-nerf meta, so I guess results are not to be expected. Maybe there is some kind of core here that can be used in the post-nerf meta, but I suspect that pure Secret Mage will be a superior build even after the nerfs. As always, I've prepared a bunch of gameplay material for you. You get to see how well this performs against Warlock and how poorly this can perform against aggro. Anyway, if you enjoy this content, then please click the like button and subscribe to my channel for more. Now let's go take a look at that gameplay. I mean, I mulligan for 2. It could be a Control Warlock. If I mulligan for Control Warlock, I hard mulligan for Polymorph. But let's see. That's just the difficulty. 2 archetypes, 2 completely different mulligans you need, and I picked the wrong one. Now what can you do? I can play Mana. I can do that. But that's not a polymorph now, is it? No, it's not a polymorph. It is most definitely not a polymorph. Hi, Charles. I'm fine, I'm fine. That is quite some power. Nothing I can really do about this either. He can just mortal coil this, and he kept almost all cards. But he's playing Beetle, so he's the fatigue build. That's good to know. I can check to see if I can find a polymorph. Can't find a polymorph. Can I go the face plan and go for Pyroblast? Not a bad idea maybe, but I guess we'll roll again. I could try to keep my minion alive. I guess I will. I guess I'll try. Now he has to Hellfire this, right? Well, he could Spellstone it. And he kept 2 cards, so that's very likely an answer. Or just Defile and Mortal Coil. That one works too. He has lots of answers. But this was the most difficult position I could put him in. I guess it wasn't difficult enough. I mean, I could push 12 to face this turn. But there's 6 healing on the board. So it's not that impressive now, is it? It really isn't that impressive. I think I'll just ping that one and hit face. There's no particular reason for me to trade either. I mean, if he had a Spellstone last turn, he would have played the Spellstone. Now he can take the trades with the minions. Oh, that's annoying. Pulling my elemental is slightly annoying. There were things I wanted to do with that elemental, you know. Let's go with this line. Doesn't look really promising. I haven't found any polymorphs yet. Now there's the Lackey and Dark Pact. Yeah. Pulls the Void Lord. Against this fatigue build, I would like to polymorph the Void Lords. Well, that's a polymorph. That's kind of what I was looking for. Right, we got rid of one Void Lord. That's not coming back from... But is he running Rin? Oh dear, he's running Rin too. Good bait on the polymorph. Then I guess we're looking if we can find another polymorph. I cannot. Doesn't look too good.
When Earth moves, empires fall.
We go with this line now. Oh, I can't polymorph to Rin. Should I have saved the polymorph for Rin? Hellfire and trade away the Rin. I see what you did there. Just moved across the country 3,000 miles. That's a long way. That's a long way to go. But there's my Jaina. He has healed up all the damage that I've dealt. Feels bad, man. So I'm playing Jaina, but he had an early Rin. So he's going to burn my deck in a few turns, which is too early. Getting my deck burned too early is bad for me. This turn is Jaina. This is unlikely to be enough. He is just playing 2 seals this turn, every time. Then I will try to hit him a lot in the face. And make him feel bad. That's what I'll try to do. But how successful I'll be is a different matter. Blizzarding so that I can make another water elemental. And just punch him in the face. Hopefully I can stop the seal playing at some point. I mean, I have some damage coming from hand. So it's not that easy for him to just burn my deck away. But once he finds another Dark Pact, or gets a good spellstone off, like this one, that's a good spellstone right there. So I'm just blizzarding this, hitting him in the face again, playing the Steam Surger. But his health total is too high. He has had a fully buffed spellstone, he has had a Dark Pact. The burst I have from hand is insufficient. I probably need to Arcane Intellect when he plays the final seal. I have no more freezes. So he can also just start trading. Oh dear. Well, this is a Twisting Nether turn then, right? No, place the final seal instead. That's interesting. But that's not quite enough still, right? Good Dark Pact, good Dark Pact. Next turn my deck is going to burn. Before that happens I can draw a couple of cards from it. Well, no more elementals coming, so... But if he burns my deck, he dies, right? He can't burn my deck yet. And I was hoping for something like a Blaze Caller. These will not get the job done. None of these will get the job done.
I must decide.
I hit that to make another water elemental. And these will obviously go face. But this is not enough.
Time is now.
He can burn my deck now, obviously. If he burns my deck, he dies. But there are plenty of other things he can do and then burn my deck a little bit later. Like Twisting Nether is good on this turn. That indicates a Twisting Nether play. That's why I was hoping for something like a Blaze Caller. To get pressure up. Because this gives him time to burn my deck. Oh, but there's a Blaze Caller draw. I like that. Then I guess it's Menaverm. So he can't burn my deck this turn either. We're again at the point where if he burns my deck, he dies. But I have 15 bursts from hand. But he could play like a Void Lord here. Then I would need a Polymorph. Now he dies. Well, why did you kill yourself? I don't know why he decided to kill himself. But I mean, it's okay. If you really want to kill yourself. Let's try this. I was a little bit thinking about keeping Frostbolt in case it's 2. Oh, might have a Frostbolt anyway. No idea what the Warlock deck is yet. Let's see. But yeah, right now, if you want to play Hearthstone, you can play Dragon Priest, you can play Warlock, you can play Rasagus Priest, you can play Tempo Rogue, you can play Zoo. You might even play Aggro Hunter. There's still a bunch of decks, but nothing really fun right now. Or fun and new. All of that is waiting for Just a little while longer. Once the nerf's coming, it will change the meta so much. Because the OTK Razakus deck is completely dead at that point. That's a huge difference. I don't want to play Dark Reaper Manavan because that just opens a Hellfire clear for him. I think I'll Phoenix the Mistress. I mean, he could coin Lackey, but then I could kill the Lackey. Oh, another one of these. Well, this is interesting. Because next turn he could Cube coin Pact. Or he could Faceless. Is this a Cubelock or is this Control? I think I'm taking some chances here. I'm not polymorphing that yet. I'll go for this line. He could also coin Siphon Soul. So, various cube... Well, Siphon Soul doesn't really matter. It's the cube plays that matter. Okay, if that pulls a Void Lord, then it's all cool. It's all cool. Okay. So then we polymorph the Void Lord. And then we kill the Mountain Giant. Nice. We can still die to a Rin. Early Rin that burns the deck before I can do things. But looks like a Control Lock. And not a Cubelock. Now he's really looking for the Rin, by the way. This indicates that he is on the search for that. He's got to be looking for that one now. He probably has the Hellfire, right? Probably. I think I still go with the Mana Worm. Okay, now I want to activate Elemental Synergies for next turn. This should be okay. I could have played the Dark Reaper to play around the Hellfire, but I guess this is okay. He will have to use 4 mana to do the Hellfire. Oh, he is a Cubelock. He is actually a Cubelock. Now that's interesting. That's really interesting. I really expected him to be Control. Now he drew so many cards. Ice Walker doesn't do a whole lot. None of these do. Frozen Crusher? What is the Ice Walker? No. Let's grab the Crusher. I think I'll trade away the Mistress here. 8 cards in hand, that's fine. And we'll see what comes out. It could still be a Void Lord, but I think it's going to be a Doom God. It's a Doom God. And now with all that draw, he has to have a Cube and Dark Pact in hand, right? Well, he has played 1 Dark Pact already, so maybe he doesn't have the second one. But Cube is definitely coming out. There's no way a Cube doesn't appear. Plus the Cube and Pact, which means that he's going to get so much charge from Gul'dan. I really thought this was going to be a Control Warlock. I really did. I really did. So that's 3 Doom Gods. Polymorphing them doesn't really help. Well, this is tricky now. I have reason to believe there's Gul'dan in hand as well. Maybe I do need to polymorph 1 after all. Yeah, let's poly 1. But he can cube the second one now. He probably has the second cube available. And now that I don't have polymorphs, yeah, there will be too many Doom Gods coming. Once he goes Gul'dan, there are now 4 Doom Gods, 3 Doom Gods. I polyed 1. It's 3 Doom Gods. Okay. I can just barely survive 3 Doom Gods. Next turn is cooldown, and 3 Doom Gods. Almost guaranteed. Three Doom Gods, that's 15 damage. Looks like he is able to beat me. I thought he was Control Lock. With the way he doesn't have cooldown. Alright, well that's interesting. Because if he plays more Void Lords, then he might not get all the Doom Gods. But he still has 1 Doom God left in the deck, so he can pull that with the weapon. We're still not in the clear.
Brothers, heed my call.
More Steam Surgers. I guess we go for more Steam Surgers. I take the trade there. Play Steam Surger. He could Hellfire Defile. Didn't draw the rest of the demons yet. But if he hasn't drawn the demons, then he has to have a cooldown there. Right? There's already 15 coming from the charge. That's the Hellfire Defile play. Doesn't leave much else coming. There will be too much damage coming from the charge. That's the problem. Let's try with these. Alright, another Doom God. Pacts have been spent. He cannot multiply the Doom God right now. That will be 20. 20 if I kill the Doom God, he hits face.
So many possibilities.
Okay, but he can't pop the cube.
Before Taldaram, mortal.
It's a lot of cubes, but he can't pop them. 23. I would need another 15 from hand. I would have needed another fireball, right? Even if I blizzard the cubes, he can open them up. But he can't play cooldown on the same turn. So if I blizzard the cubes, hit face for 16 now. No, I have to play Flame Elemental to activate. Blaze Caller. That's 4, 7, 13. I'm 2 off. So we do this. He can get a couple of Doom Gods out. With a Defile, for example. Well, now he can get 4 Doom Gods. So he's 2 off. But he doesn't have mana to deal another 2 damage, right? No, so he dies. Alright. Alright, well this is a Murloc Paladin. No one plays anything else than Murloc Paladin right now. But I have a Mana Worm, which is great when going first against Murloc Paladin. Going second it's not that great, because then they have a minion and then they rock Bull Hunter and then you cry. Well, you don't always cry. You can sometimes cry. It depends. He kept all the cards, by the way. I think I'm killing this. So it's not Murloc, it's just aggro. That's interesting. Aggro is so much weaker than Murloc, but unless I can find a volcanic potion, then I guess it probably doesn't matter. Really weak coin opener. But he kept every single card. He just has some really good stuff coming. I need some AoE. Cone of Cold will have to do. Not the best AoE of my life, but don't have anything better.
Reporting for duty. Reporting for duty.
I could use the Frostbolt, but I think I'll Phoenix down the Juggler. He can kill the Phoenix with the weapon, but this preserves the cheaper spells that I can combine together with each other. Fun fact, your 4-mana card lines up really well. This is 4-mana card. We'll see, we'll see. So how do I do this now? If I only had 6 mana instead. And I could Frostbolt the Direwolf Alpha. And then I could Cone. So I would have 1 frozen minion and 1 free minion. Probably need to go for something like that. Then we Cone there. So we reduce this board a little bit. Next turn I have the Phoenix and ping, or Fireball and ping if he plays a Blessing of Kings. Then I can't activate the Blaze Caller though. Which admittedly sucks a little bit. Does have more 1-drops in hand. He hasn't played that many 1-drops, so he could. Ooh, patches. I guess I need to save Blizzard for a little bit later. Just fireball that fellow. I guess I'm pinging the patches. Might have some pirate synergies. Didn't get to activate the Blaze Caller yet. Okay, time for Blizzard. Oh, sweet, sweet hand. Able to play every card and then into Divine Favor. I probably have to save the Blizzard. I can Phoenix the Juggler. If he gets another Rallying Blade now, he can turn this into a 2/2. Then he can kill this one. I think I still... Do I still prefer no? No, I need to ping away the Divine Shield. There's also the Sacred Maul that might be an issue, but I still need to ping away the Divine Shield. So some kind of weapon is coming, but is it a good one? The big question is the weapon a good one? It's the best one. Well, that sucks. I mean, this is the best weapon in most cases. They really love finding that one. Any other weapon, and I would have been fine. Well, we're looking for Blizzard top deck next turn. It seems. Not much else I can do. Can still die pretty rapidly to something like a Leroy. No, Corridor Creeper. That's probably also going to do it. It's an AoE Coke Hammer. Yeah, it's pretty sweet. So now he has 2, 4, 5, 6. 6 plus 5. He has 11 damage. Blessing of Kings is lethal. But he only has 2 cards. Well, Sanki Tarim is lethal. There's no way for me to play around Tarim. I can't kill multiple minions. So I have to play Jaina and hope that he does not have 4 damage from hand. If it's just like a Rallying Blade... Actually, Rallying Blade is also 4 damage because it buffs the Protector. Rallying Blade is lethal, Leroy is lethal. I guess he has it. But he was seriously lucky. It had to be exactly Purifier Small. Any other of the 4 malls, and I would have easily won this game. So... that's just... And if they don't get the Divine Shields, you win. So... rather dull. I'm going to assume this is Spiteful Priest. Let's see. Squelchings. He kept all the cards. Who does that? If I play both of these, then I don't have an activator for Servant of Kalimus. I will draw more activators later. I think I might need the board presence. It's unlikely for him to have anything that really deals with this. It's spiteful. That's what I figured. That's exactly what I figured. So he does have the coin Duskbreaker available, obviously. It's time for me to draw some cards. Duskbreaker still kills this one. He kept all cards, so he has to have a great hand. There's nothing in the deck that deals 1. There's patches. I do this in case he's playing the pirate version and he has Southsea Captain that pulls patches for next turn. Akshay, with the rank says you will aim to climb higher since just legend would hold a bit less weight now. So, yeah. There are many ways to judge such success. But it's just people who don't play competitively, people who like to build decks cannot climb to the highest ranks. It just doesn't work that way anymore. He can go in Spiteful Summon the next turn. That's going to be a big problem. I get nothing from this. Maybe the Ice Walker will do. Let's see. I can freeze stuff. I'm expecting coin Spiteful Summoner, but it could be a Dragon Operative if he doesn't have it. But he kept all the cards, so what can he possibly have in that hand? Oh, that's a really weak move. Why did you keep all the cards if you're not doing anything with them? Oh, we're trading away that fellow. Why keep all the cards if you don't do anything? I don't get it. Oh, that's a Bone Bear. No, it was a Corridor Creeper. 2 Corridor Creepers. Now I get it. It all starts to make sense to me. I see what you did there. Okay, that's a pretty powerful turn 6. Put 1919 stats on board for 6 mana. Seems legit. So how do I work my way out of this mess? Arcane Intellect could give me a chance to find Blizzard. But that's probably not the answer. I think I'm going with this. What if he has another Bone Mare in hand? Makes another 9/9. That could be a problem. This is ridiculous. But all of this is gone. As soon as the patch comes, all of this is gone. You can't do anything like this anymore. Now it looks like I die. It's a little bit sad. That was a pretty nutty hand in the end. Because he's 1-off on the board now. Yeah, I guess double Corridor Creeper, double Bone Mare is pretty strong. I can now take Arcane Intellect myself for Blizzard. If that fails, I can glyph myself a Blizzard. I can glyph myself a Cone of Code. That will do. For now. A Cone of Code, these minions. But of course, if he has a silence, he can kill me with that. Probably need to trade away one of them. But yeah, silence is lethal, and probably he has lethal next turn somehow anyway. Even if there's no silence. Top deck Blizzard. No. 17 cards deep. Not a single Blizzard found. I guess I'm not really alive. He probably has mind control at this point. So he can just mind control the taunt, so that he can attack with the Twilight Drake. These two cards have been in the hand almost since the beginning. Yeah. He had a pretty nutty hand. I might try this hand. I have some early removal. I have an early taunt. I have some additional card draw. Whoa, whoa, that's too much card draw. I need to play for some tempo too. Or maybe I don't. What kind of rogue doesn't do anything on the first 2 turns? I mean, it has to be a tempo rogue still, right? Ah, it's still tempo rogue. Good. I was already thinking that maybe this is not right. Okay, does he have a pirate? If he doesn't have a pirate... No. Well... He does have a pirate. Then I guess things are pretty good for him. Alright. Well, now he doesn't have a lot of cards. Maybe he whiffs for a few turns at least. Okay, he doesn't seem to be whiffing here. I take it that South Sea Captain is not the whiff that I was looking for. Well, maybe I can... Did he triple kill us? Yes, he did. And then he also had a South Sea deck hand in hand. And then he top decked a South Sea Captain. Yes, that just did happen. Glyphing into a Frostbolt is probably not strong enough. So next turn I will top deck Volcanic Potion, which will kill all of these. That's 10 damage coming in right now though. But I will top deck that Volcanic Potion next turn. And the next minion he plays will become a sheep. Then I top deck that Volcanic Potion and a Volcanic Potion ping for a full board clear. I mean, that's my out. There are no other outs. Turns out he can play the only minion in his deck that actually is 2 minions. That's the Volcanic Potion. But I guess I'm still dead because he played the only minion in his deck, which is 2 minions. So I couldn't get the pressure off.
guy's toast.
He could have a Bone Mare for next turn. What do I need? I need a Blizzard top deck now. That's not it, but if he doesn't have any damage, then he's one off now. If he didn't top deck, I mean, if he didn't play the only minion in his deck that brings 2 minions last turn, he would not have had any presence on the board here. And then he wouldn't be able to do anything. That's pretty interesting when you think about it. He needed very, very specific card to play against what was my only out. But now, of course, there are no remaining outs anymore.
Checkmate. Well done.
Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the show, please click the like button and subscribe to my channel for more.